Greetings! Welcome to Saint of the Week, the show where we choose one saint's feast day from this week and discuss their life and their impact on the church. The saint for this week is Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, whose feast day is August 9th, this Thursday.
Teresa was born Edith Stein on October 12, 1891, in Breslau, Germany, which is now Wrocław, Poland. She was the youngest of 11 children, and her father died when she was 2. Her mother was a very devout Jew, and although she raised all of her children in the Jewish faith, Edith fell away from it in her teenage years, becoming an atheist.
In 1911, Edith went to school at the University of Breslau to study German and history, but her true interests were in philosophy and women's issues. 2 years later, she transferred to the University of Göttingen to study under Edmund Husserl, a prominent philosopher of the time, but her studies were interrupted in 1914 with the outbreak of World War I.
For the next 2 years, Edith worked as a volunteer in an Austrian field hospital, looking after those in the typhus ward. After the hospital was dissolved, she moved to the German city of Freiburg and finished her studies, graduating summa cum laude as a doctor of philosophy. She then briefly worked as an assistant to her former tutor, Husserl, but then quit, wanting to work independently.
Edith experienced a good deal of exposure to Catholicism throughout her adult life, and she had clearly been on a journey towards communion with the Church. But it was during the summer of 1921 when she read the autobiography of St. Teresa of Avila when she truly decided she should become a Catholic. She was baptized on January 1st, 1922, and wanted to join the religious life, but her spiritual advisors told her to wait.
Instead, Edith began teaching at a Dominican school in Speyer from 1923 to 1931. While here, she translated St. Thomas Aquinas' work, De Veritas, into German, and familiarized herself with Catholic philosophy overall. In 1932, she became a lecturer at the Institute for Scientific Pedagogy in Münster, but the Nazi regime was in effect at this time, and anti-Jewish legislation forced her to resign in 1933.
In that same year, Edith entered the Discalced Carmelite Monastery, Our Lady of Peace in Cologne, taking the religious name Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. She took her final vows on April 21st, 1938, but at this time the Nazi threat had greatly increased, and Germany was becoming a more and more dangerous place for Jews to live, even those who had converted to Catholicism. For their protection, Teresa and her sister Rosa, who had also converted to Catholicism and joined the Carmelites, were moved to the monastery in Echt, Netherlands.
After moving to Echt, Teresa became even more devout and dedicated to the Carmelite rule. She served as an instructor to her fellow sisters, teaching them Latin and philosophy. She did not believe she would survive the war, and after the Nazis invaded the Netherlands in 1940, she began quietly training herself for a life in a concentration camp by enduring cold and hunger.
Teresa's prediction turned out to be true. For 1942, in retaliation to the Catholic Church's public condemnation of Nazi racism, the arrest of all Jewish converts was ordered. Along with 243 other baptized Jews in the Netherlands, Teresa was arrested on August 2nd. She and Rosa were held in the concentration camps of Amersfoort and Westerbork before being deported to Auschwitz with 987 other Jews. On August 9th, Teresa and Rosa and many other Jews were killed in the gas chambers. She is a patron saint of Europe, lost parents, converted Jews, martyrs, and World Youth Day.
Edith Stein was a true daughter of Israel, remaining faithful to both her belief in Jesus Christ and to her people, the Jews. Her writings and life display an immense spirit of hope and courage throughout the horrifying times she lived in, which makes her a role model to all people, no matter who they are or what faith they possess.
Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, pray for us. Our honorable mentions for this week are
Saint Cassian of Autun, Saint Hormisdas, Blessed Edmund Bohanovsky, Saint Altman, Saint Laurentinus, and Saint Susanna.
And of course, there are thousands of other saints who undoubtedly have their feast days this week, but there are so many of them that there is no way we could list them all here.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Saint of the Week. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Peace be to you.